Okay, so in the last video we created this dummy HTML statement, which is doing what we want to do, but it's all hard-coded. So we have to create our statement format, header and footer and all that jazz for the HTML version. So I'm going to start by doing my header. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. Where do I want to copy it to? I got to copy it past all this statement stuff, I guess, and create my HTML. And this is going to be HTML statement format header. And I think actually I'm going to move all of this. I'm going to move this HTML statement down here too, so that I keep the HTML stuff together. So what I want now is then, see where this says rentals for Dolores. Let me just copy this string. And in fact, in my body, I'm going to be looping through. I'm just going to be doing all these LIs. So I'll want to include this in my header, because this is opening up the list. And this closing UL should be in my footer. Okay, because the body is just all these things that are the same. So here's my header. I'll just pop it over here like this, and let me think for a second. So now what I want is, it says rental record 4. This is the name of the person, right? So instead of Dolores, I want that deal, and I'm going to return that. Okay? Okay. What happened? Why isn't this happy? Need a semicolon. Okay. So that's my header. So now what I want to do is, in my statement, let's see, what does my regular statement thing look like? Okay, so I have statement format header, statement format body, 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 body. I think what I'll do for now is, because I want to test this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, because this is how I get the, okay, so let me get now the HTML format header. And the name. And then I'm going to return. Now remember, I'm for the header, I'm doing not only this heading number 1 line up here, but also the first line for the unordered list. If you're not an HTML person, don't worry about it. Just, that's something that I need to have in the front there. So now I'm gonna say this is my result string. I'm gonna change this to, this is my header, and I'm gonna return the header plus all that jazz. Okay, so let me test that and see if that works. Yes. Okay, good. All right, so now the next thing, I think I probably want to do the footer next. So let's see, format This is going to be my HTML footer. Okay, and this one, like I said, we're going to include all of this business. Okay, so far, see, we've replaced the template in the header, so we're pulling off of our generic data instead of hard-coded for the header. But now let's see for the footer what we can do. Okay, so we have, put some extra space here because we're going to start with this. This just says, end the unordered list. So we're going to say you owe, that's the amount owed is going to be this. Okay, because that's our number one. And you earned this much. And that's your frequent earner points, and that's what we're going to return. Okay? And that's the statement footer. So let's do something like this for the footer. Footer, and remember, footer needs a couple of arguments. It needs, okay, so this is for the footer. It needs get total charge and get total frequent earner points. Okay, so that should be footer right here. Indent that so it's separate from the body a little bit. And let's see if that works. Yeah, we're still good. So now the last thing we need to take care of is the body. Let's see. So we'll do an HTML statement format body. And the body looks like this. It's a bunch of these, right? So I'll just take one, because we're going to loop through and do them all. So that's going to look like this. And that's got our get title and our get charge. So our title, and the hard-coded one is Alex Cross. We're going to replace that with our placeholder for the title. And the charge, we're going to replace with our placeholder for the charge. Instead of 21.0, it's going to be that. Okay, this will be like that. Oh. Okay. So the compiler looks happy. Let's incorporate that into here. So this is the loopy part, right? Actually, I think at this point, since I've tested all these other guys already, and the body is the only piece I have left to test, I'm going to revert to this form. So see how I have just regular statement. And what I'm going to do is pass it, because I already tested this one. And I already tested the footer. So now I'm just going to test HTML statement body. I can get rid of all of this stuff. Okay, so need an S in there. Okay, HTML statement format body. Did I not? HTML. There we go. Okay. So HTML statement format body. So now for my HTML statement, I'm again calling this statement method that has the parameters, but instead of calling it with statement format header, statement format body, and statement format footer, I'm calling it with the HTML versions. Okay? So now we test our HTML statement. Let's see if that works. Yes. Okay, so we have now gone and now we're actually pulling the values for the HTML from the from the actual customers and everything. Okay, so this is the actual. So see, we're comparing the hard-coded thing that we had before with our customer 1 HTML statement, where all these values are actually drawn from the customer and all the rentals. So we are done. We've tested it. Okay, so again, this was just meant to be an example to show different ways of refactoring. Depending on what you're working on, you're going to decide how much refactoring you need to do before you make any changes. But you can see this ended up being a pretty easy change once we had everything set up. And not only did it make this change easy, but it'll make future changes easier. Like I said, if you decide later on you want to be able to do statements in French or Chinese or XML or something like that, it'll be a lot easier to do in the future. So that is the point of refactoring. Again, like I said, there's lots more to refactoring than just this. If you go to Amazon and check out, Fowler refactoring, and yeah, there's a 1999 version and a 2012 version, but super cool book. Highly recommend it. So that's it on, and that's where most of the stuff that you've seen in the videos have come from. So so that's it for now for this example for refactoring. And as we get into the we'll be moving on to the Killer Game Programming book now, and we'll do some refactoring as we tease out how that stuff works, and make it easier for you to customize your games and stuff like that. Okay, so that's it for now.